hi there. So today I'm making an awesome cake. It's called the Gâteau Basque. You've probably never heard of it, but once you eat it, you will never forget this cake. It is amazing. So stick around, you're not gonna wanna miss this recipe. Okay, so let's get our dry ingredients together. All of the recipes are in the description and they're also listed in the video. So we just have our simple ingredients. We have our sugars, our flours, our baking powders. We also have these cherries that are preserved. That's the brand I like to use. They're Amarena cherries. And we also have this almond flour, which you can find anywhere. Really easy, fresh vanilla bean, super easy. So whatever you're using to bake this cake in, make sure you butter and sugar it really well. You can also butter and flour, but in the Basque region, I saw that they actually butter and sugar it because there's nice sugar granules on the outside of the cake. It tastes a little better. So that's what I did. So that was a 9-inch pie tin. You can use whatever you'd like. You can make these small little muffins, but up to you completely. Now in a mixing bowl, we're adding our eggs, we're adding our sugar, and we're scraping out the vanilla seeds, and we're gonna add the vanilla seeds right into that sugar and egg mixture. A cool little trick, because we're not using the vanilla pod, add that jar of sugar, give it a little shake, and now you have really flavorful sugar for pastries and sweet things. So I like to do that all the time. So we're going to mix our eggs and sugar until it's pale and thick ribbons. That may take about 5 minutes, 6 minutes. It's faster when everything's room temperature. If it's cooler, it takes longer. So it should be nice and thick. Now, once it's nice and thick, we're going to add our melted butter slowly. So if you add your butter too fast, it's going to separate, it's going to break, it's not going to be beautiful. Your cake might be ruined. So what you want to do is slowly drizzle in that melted butter on medium speed until it looks nice and emulsified and everything's incorporated nicely. Okay, so at this point, what we're gonna do is spoonful by spoonful over low speed, add the flour mixture. So if you overmix the flour, the cake is gonna get really dense and really chewy. It's not gonna be very nice. So what I like to do is add it until it's about 90 to 95% incorporated, and then I just hand mix the rest. So as you can see, I just hand mix the edge of the bowl and the bottom of the bowl, and I let it sit for about 20 to 30 minutes. So once you let it sit for about 20 to 30 minutes, add half the mixture to the bottom of whatever you're using as a baking dish. This is a little tricky, so just take your time, use your fingers, whatever you have to use, a couple spoons, and just even it out as much as you can. Now we're going to add our pastry cream. So I have a link up above for pastry cream. It's really simple. So we're just going to add our pastry cream right in the center of that cake, making sure that you keep a nice little edge of the batter outside the pastry cream. So just spread that as smooth and as evenly as you can. It doesn't have to be perfect. As long as it's there, it's going to be delicious. Now at this point, we're going to add the cherries. So I add about 5 ounces of cherries for one cake. And you can just put them anywhere you'd like. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just press them down a little bit so they're kind of sunken in. Now we add the remaining batter on top of those cherries and pastry cream, and just take your time, smooth it over. I mean, this probably is going to take about 5 minutes unless you have a ton of batter. So after a few minutes of spreading it over the cherries, it looks nice and even. So traditionally, they use a fork or they use some sort of instrument to make these designs on the cake. It didn't really turn out that well on mine. Completely optional, it doesn't add any flavor, but what's important is that you do add an egg wash. And so I just beat an egg with about a tablespoon of water, and I just brush it lightly on top, and that's going to give you that nice golden brown color. So I baked it at 350, 30 to 45 minutes. I let it cool until it was completely room temp, and now I'm just taking it out of that pie dish. And it pops out nice and easy. You know, and a dish like this doesn't really look as good as it tastes, which is kind of why I like it. It's unassuming, but when you bite into it, it is one of the most flavorful, delicious cakes that you'll ever eat in your life. And make sure that you buy nice cherries. I know the Luxardo cherries are a little expensive. The Amarena cherries are very expensive. Don't use maraschino cherries. Nice quality cherries, that really makes the dish. So you can plate it up any way you'd like. To make it look a little more elegant, I make sure that the cake is warm. I put a fork over the top of the cake, and then I just dust it with powdered sugar. You can also add a little sweetened or unsweetened cream. That works really well with this cake. But really, once you're to this point, any way you eat this cake is going to be delicious. You can't screw it up. Well, there you have it. The cake is complete, and I hope you love this recipe. So you can change out the fruit. You can change it out with blueberries or blackberries or any, preserved figs. You can get wild with it, but most classically it is with these beautiful preserved cherries. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Stay tuned for more videos coming soon. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your cake and have a wonderful day.